Hey, wait, did you sign up?
Did they sign up for what?
Our class.
What's the class about?
Really?
Oh, I forgot. Yes, we're teaching a class on restoring the trust in your relationship after infidelity. But when is it?
March 8th, next Saturday.
This Saturday coming up,
Yeah.
March 8th, 10 a.m. So listen, all you need to do to register is to go to kellyandnatasha.com. It is right below our bio. There's a link to register. So kellyandnatasha.com. Get registered. This will be a class. We're going to give you step-by-step tools to restoring that trust in your relationship. All right? That's for the general admission. General admission is only $47. VIP is $97. Here's why you need to get the VIP. You get not only the class, but you get the recording, you get a bonus session, and what else? You remember what else they get?
No.
A bonus digital workbook. So that will support you even after the class is done. So what should they do?
You should go and register. Sign up. Let's go.
Let's go. Wait, but who is it for?
It's for couples, married couples, couples that just trying to get their life going.
That's right. So go ahead and get registered. One more thing. If you watch the podcast, you know everything we do is going to have biblical principles. So these are biblical principles and step-by-step intertwined with our story and how we achieved and restored our trust in our marriage after infidelity. So get registered now.
Let's go.
KellyandNatasha.com.
Can't wait to see you. Hey, welcome back to the Finally One podcast.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Natasha.
And today, what we're going to talk about today?
We are going to talk about divorce and the children, like in that time, how our children coped and all that good jazz with divorce.
So first, before we get into that, how was your week?
I had a stressful week. It was nothing at home, just work. End of month always is stressful because you have to crunch numbers and all that good jazz. So it was a little stressful trying to make numbers for the end of the month. So yeah, but other than that, it was a blessed and lovely week. How about you?
I don't even remember my week.
You had a rough week too. You've been dragging, like.
I did, and I don't know, why. I mean, it wasn't nothing in particular going on or nothing that I know. It could have just been something, I don't know. I had to fight through a lot of things this week to get stuff done, but I'm glad I pushed myself to get them done. And yeah, so we made it.
We're here.
We're here.
Thank
again.
God.
We're here to help the people.
Right.
We're here to spread our message.
Right.
Right. Book is doing good. We had another book signing. How was that?
Yes.
How did you feel about the book signing?
The book signing was good. I wish we would have picked a different day. It was Wednesday, so a lot of people were at church. Yeah. But, I mean, we had the support. People came out even from the place where we had it. Like, there were people supporting and giving us our props and just how being godly, like, would bring out, because a lady came up to us and said, hey, I love this. Like, God is just amazing, like how he does stuff. And she did not know us and purchased the book and said that, she had a book as well. So I praise God for that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right. So first off, thank y'all so much, the ones who comment, the ones who send questions.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for everybody who bought the book too. The book did hit the Amazon bestsellers list. So we're grateful for that. Make sure if you haven't got your copy, make sure you go check it out on our website. Everything is on our website, kellyandnatasha.com, including our dates. We got a bunch of dates and things coming up. Like this Saturday, we're doing our first class.
Yes.
So make sure you check out that. So what's called Rebuilding Trust After Infidelity in Your Relationship. So, and it's not just for married couples. It is also for couples who, are just dating. Y'all haven't quite got married yet, and there's been some infidelity or something like that going on, some mistrust. This class will help you rebuild that trust. So check that out. That is this Saturday, March the 8th at 10 a.m. We're going to put the link below this video. But check it out. I think it's going to be great. One thing you need to know, of course, because if you watch the podcast, we teach and talk from a biblical perspective. So all of the principles and all of the steps and the exercise we give is going to have a biblical principles. And if you think that we are transparent on this podcast, I mean, this class and then our course, we get completely uncovered and transparent. So go ahead and get signed up while there's still time. Limited availability because it's going to be virtual. So we only have a limited number of space on our Zoom. So click the link, kellyandnatasha.com. You can go right over there and get registered. So, but thank y'all. So we appreciate it. So we got this question from our guy, Tyree, which is great questions. Like I said, keep sending us your questions, keep sending us your feedback, keep commenting, keep liking, keep sharing, keep subscribing. But he asks, first part of the question, how did the kids take the divorce? I'll let you start. How do you feel like the kids took our divorce?
So our baby girl didn't take it very well. And then our middle child, I think I'll let you explain that. And then our oldest, Aaron, I really didn't have too much interaction with Aaron because he was always on the road with Aaron. But Aaron, made sure, he was like, make sure my mama good. I didn't know he had said that, and he would check on me and everything, but we really didn't have the conversation about it. But my baby girl, she moved out with me, so she was with me. She did not take it very well. I think she was going through some stuff with school, so when we divorced and I moved to the other side of Bristol, she switched schools. Didn't really like that one as well, and I don't know if that was because of going through the divorce and nobody being there for her. So yeah, she did not take it really, but it brought our relationship closer. Me and her, we brought together a bond. So she was like my best friend because that's all I had to talk to was her. Like we would go back and forth. But then she said I wasn't really there for her either. I guess because we didn't talk. Like we talked surface, but not fully, transparent and everything. And then back and forth with him coming in, it just, I don't.
So I got a question. Maybe this will help somebody. Do you feel like that y'all relationship during the divorce was a healthy relationship? Do you feel like it was healthy?
Yeah, I feel like it was healthy. I feel like, because we were together, we talked, but we didn't talk. But I feel it was healthy because, we were just there. So, I mean.
When I say healthy, I want to go a little bit deeper. When I say healthy, I mean placing a child in a position to be kind of like the person you leaned on, like a girlfriend.
So no, that was not healthy because anything I felt and I was feeling like I would bring it on to her, and no, that was not healthy.
Yeah.
That was not a healthy situation.
Yeah, I think it affected how she looked at me.
Yeah.
Doing the thing. For me, I felt like before we got the divorce, I honestly felt like deep in my heart that I had a strong enough relationship with my children to withstand the divorce. I knew it would affect them, but I didn't know how much it would affect them. And I've said it many times. I don't know if I said it on a podcast, but we're still recovering from that. Like even in our bliss and our happiness, it's almost like I can kind of tell they kind of wait for the ball to drop, or like, okay, is this real? I guess because there were so many years that it wasn't healthy. Our
Yeah.
relationship wasn't healthy. So a love. I always felt like it wasn't a healthy relationship that y'all had. But I kind of understand, you know. I understand because when we feel like we're sinking or we feel like we're drowning, we'll latch on to anybody or we'll
Right.
hold on to anybody. So I rather you latched on to her than to another dude who was no good
Right,
for
because
you.
I had nobody to latch on. And I felt like, with my mother, like I didn't really want to go in and, bring that to her. So it was just me and my daughter. Like there would be times we would just be home sitting there looking at each other. So yeah, it was me and her.
Yeah, like I said, I'm grateful for that. And you didn't latch on to a dude who, maybe took advantage of you, your vulnerability. Hence, what I was doing, latching on to different women and being vulnerable, taking advantage of, being hurt and hurting people, which was a much more dangerous road. So I'm grateful for that. Because let's be honest, you didn't have any experience of what being out there was like. And although I had experience, I was still very gullible as well. Like, and I'm gonna explain what I mean. I wasn't used to people. Well, I ain't gonna say people. I wasn't used to, women pretending to be something and not being that. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah.
I felt like, we're grown. And so I would present and I would be me. I didn't have a representative. But yet I was meeting women and attaching myself to women who were sending their representative. And because they thought I was sending my representative, when they find out, no, this is really him, they was like, oh, snap, like, am I ready for this? Does
So
make
give
sense?
examples of how, like, you say women were portraying, I guess. Like, say what some of the stuff was.
Like, okay, say for instance, so I met a young lady who said, she had an amazing job, she had her own place, her money was good. She said she was great at, she had a marketing degree, so she know how to do marketing, she know how to do websites, and she know how to do all this stuff. And this is the very first chick that I dated for real out once we got divorced. And she didn't know how to do marketing, websites, and all of this stuff. And she did have a good job, but her money was jacked up. She did have a nice place, but she was barely in it. Like one mishap or one whatever, she would have been evicted. So she was living above her means. She didn't really have money in the bank. She wasn't emotionally stable, very immature, abandonment issues, daddy issues, like all of these things, right? And one of the ways she got me too, I'm gonna pause right here. I was thinking about this when I was in my office before we came up to start recording, about how I'm so grateful that you fit me. Does it make sense? Like, I don't have to wrestle with you about the things that you want to do. We want to do the same things. we enjoy doing the same things.
Right.
If even if you don't do something with me, or you do something with your cousin or something like that, it is still things that I approve of that I don't have to wrestle with you about.
Right.
She was an alcoholic. She loved to drink. She was in denial about being an alcoholic. She liked being in streets, in the bars, and hanging out, every kickback and every little thing. Like, and she just didn't fit my lifestyle and what I enjoy doing. And there was something else I was gonna say about that particular thing. Oh, how she tricked me with that. When I met her, I was on tour, and so she talked to me. When I'm on tour, I like to call you when I get in the hotel room and stuff like that. And when I get in from that, she talked to me. She wasn't out in the street. She wasn't drinking. She wasn't doing nothing. She was talking to me every single night. Hey, do you need help in your marriage? Do you need some guidance? Do you need some tools? Do you need some action plans, some steps to becoming one? Well, great news. We created a course called 7 Steps to Becoming One. How we went from teenage parents to married to divorced and then happily married again, and how we got there. We were able to sit down, record this course, share our personal testimony, right? Give you the tools, all right? Provide a lesson, then give you scripture, give you an exercise and activities to help you become one. It was fun creating this, wasn't it,
It
sweetheart?
was very fun creating it. Yep.
Why should they take our course?
What better way? Like, we've been through one marriage and it didn't work. We divorced and now we're back together. So why not let us help you? We're back on this journey again. So, like, yeah.
It was fun. It was fun. So we can help you. Real life stuff. This is not, we didn't create this course to make money. We created this course to help people. We didn't want to do it. We didn't want to write the book. We didn't want to create the course. We didn't want to do any of this. We are simply being obedient to the Father. The course is 8 modules, right? 8 weeks. You can get it done in 7 to 8 weeks, right? Depending on how fast you go, right? And you also get a digital workbook with exercises, resources, lessons, and so much more. All right. So listen, go now. To sign up for the course, go to kellyandnatasha.com. Go check it out in our store. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. She could do, she could do websites. She telling me she a homebody. Lie, total lie. Told me all of this stuff. Everything she told me was a lie. Not one thing she told me was true. Other than actually she had her job and she had her own place. Like, she even lied to the fact of where she said how her grandmother taught her how to clean and all of this stuff. And I walked into her crib and I was like, no, your grandma didn't teach you how to clean. And if she did, you didn't listen, because I sat down and the coffee table, the dust on it was this thick. And the old school granny, that ain't going down. My granny, my mom, they taught me how to, and it wasn't going down. So that was the first red flag. But yeah, so to give an example, that's an example of, and that's just one. I ran into that a few times out there where they met me and I'm like, yo, I'm very A-structured personality. I get up at this time in the morning. I have my, my daily routine. I do my devotion. I do my affirmation. I read my short-term goals, my long-term goals, and I have a to-do list. I'm very structured. I work hard. I have a successful business, blah, 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 blah. They thinking I'm just BSing. Like, I like my car's paid off. I got rental properties.
Yeah.
So they thinking, oh, they meeting. But then they got to know me and they're like, oh, he's really, really.
This him.
Yeah, this is really who he is.
Him.
And so they would be like, oh, well, am I ready for this? And then I just saw this thing where they just started scrambling as it began to unfold and I began to discover who they were. And it a lot of times it caused problems because they didn't feel, worthy enough, which is, I don't want to go down that road. I didn't feel like that about them. It was something that they felt about themselves. Does that make sense? So
that's key point. Like, women, know who you are, know what you want, and like, be yourself. Like, I can say, like, one time, like, I wasn't like a drinker or anything, but I wanted to be drunk. I wanted to have that feeling, to know what it was like. So
you wanted to be a drunkard. Go ahead.
Really? I mean, I just wanted to know the feeling, like, because I had never been through that, never done that. One time I went and got drunk and it was the worst ever. And I was like, yeah, I won't do that again. Now, occasionally I might have, a glass of wine or something, but
you're not a drinker.
I'm not a drinker, like, so I found that out. Yeah, so, like, know your worth, heal within, know your worth. I don't know how we got off of the subject with the kids, but
we'll get back. But this is all during the divorce period. So you were you were trying to find yourself. and trying to try different things. But like you said, you tried that, one time and you didn't like it. And to be honest with you, I don't mind you even having a drink because you're very responsible with it. My main thing was when I was out there, right? Because he asked us a second part of the question was, how did the kids feel about our 6 year of being divorced, right? So we'll kind of answer that as well. But while I was out there, a lot of these women, drink. So that was a hot opener for me too, because I had been in a relationship. We had been married for so long. You didn't drink. So the bill came, and most of the times it wouldn't even be over $100. Like, you know what I'm saying? Barely $50, $60, right? And then sometimes with the whole family, we're over 100, 150. But cool. I started going on these dates. 2 people bill 150, 200 because they getting 2 or 3 drinks. I never, drank or I never dated nobody who drank like that. And these drinks cost crazy amounts of money.
Yeah, they do.
So back to, I never mind you, like you said, you may have a glass of wine or you don't even do that. Let's just be honest.
True.
On vacation, we're at an all-inclusive resort. I'm getting the Virgin Frosty. You'll get the regular one.
Right.
As you know, it's not top shelf liquor, so she's not getting drunk. We've never had a problem. But my number one thing is when I was in a relationship, I was like, yo, I don't mind if you drink. I just don't want it to alter our communication.
Right.
If our communication is off, I got a problem. And when I was out there, it always became a problem. And then they're mad at me because I set the boundary, or this is something I don't like to deal with. And let's talk about why. My mom and mom's sides of the family, all of them they drank. They were, they get drunk. I don't care what night of the week it was. They drank, and I did not like it. I didn't like the smell of alcohol. I didn't like what alcohol did to people. I didn't like how people looked, and I just didn't like it. It was something that I hated. My grandmother, my mom's mother drunk. My mom's dad drunk. She drunk. My aunts, uncles. I just didn't like it. So it was something that was a big pet peeve of mine. But how you handle it, and like I said, you don't never come home, like you said, you had a rough week. You don't never be like, man, I want a drink or I want some wine to unwind. No, babe, I want some food. Let's watch a movie. Let's do this. And that fits my speed. You ain't never like, I want to get out. I want to do this. Now, we plan vacations. We planning our vacation. And that's fine. But I love that you fit my style.
Just one thing, shopping really helps me, and it's not even the expensive. I go straight to the clearance, and if I find a $2-3 shirt, I'm so happy, and that just warms my heart. That uplifts me. So
thrifting,
I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
shopping.
Sometimes thrifting, I don't like digging and all that.
Secondhand shopping,
True.
the Owl and the other space. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
They just organize it a little better.
Yeah.
But that's it. You don't like going to thrift stores like me, but you like going to secondhand stores.
But what I wanted to get at is don't portray to be somebody. Be yourself. Know who you are, and then that just to help a single person out there. That's all I was getting at. Know yourself.
But
don't portray.
I used to be so confused. Why would you pretend to be something you're not?
Right.
Only one that didn't do that was the last girl I dated. She didn't pretend to be, something she wasn't or who she was. Everything she said she was or she could do, she was that. Now, did she change? Yeah, she changed. We ain't gotta go down that road, but she did change. All right, so six really?
I'm just saying.
Put it on the podcast.
I mean, you can put your business out there.
I ain't trying to put that out there. I'm saying what you feeling right now.
I mean, I was just let's don't go there. I don't want to talk about that.
You funny. Yeah, all right. So, how did the kids feel in our 6 years of being divorced? Wait. Let's back up. We didn't talk about Alexis during divorce. I kind of relate to Lexus the most, um, because as I was growing up, my dad never married my mom, so I never married her mom, and I always wondered why wasn't my mom good enough to marry. I never wanted my parents to be together, if that makes sense, but I always wondered why she wasn't good enough and why he, broke her heart, you know? Because I remember the scene when my mom found out that my dad was in a relationship with my stepmom. We were all living together. Me and Kiki were kids. And we were living together. And I just remember this big argument, this big fight, our mom ripping us from our dad. We were kind of like holding onto his legs. Our mom ripping us away from him, our granny screaming. It was just being a scene. And all I remember is going to sleep, waking up in a van, not knowing where I'm going, with my mom, with my grandfather. And I wake up, and at the time I didn't know where we were, but we ended up in St. Louis at my auntie's house. And one of the biggest breakfasts I ever seen in my life. So I'm thinking, as a kid, we just visiting, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, we living there. Like, we moved. We ain't got no explanation what's going on, no nothing. We're moving there. Next thing you know, my mom's got a job, the whole nine. We got this new life in St. Louis, and it's just the most confusing thing. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So we stay in St. Louis for I don't know how many years. We come back. I go see my cousin Jug. He pops in this VHS tape of this wedding that he's in. It's my dad marrying my stepmom. And I'm like, so confused. Like, nobody talked to us. Nobody told us what was going on. I just remember being the most confused I've ever been in my life. And then next thing you know, they got 2 kids, and we going over there, and my brothers got, new Nikes on, and they got fits on, and me and my sister, we like, dang, we out here scraping and scrambling trying to figure out how to get some. So it was a very confusing time. I said all that to say, I kind of relate to my daughter Alexis. Like, I think she was indifferent about the divorce.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, okay, because her heart is pure and she has a real relationship with God, I think she wants the will of God to happen first. Mm-hmm. But she was indifferent about it. Does that make sense? But she remained respectful to both of us. She remained, sweet, kind-hearted, the whole thing. Aaron, because I was on the road with him, Aaron internalized it. So he internalized things, and then things will come out in his music and or, from the stage. So that's a little bit different. But none of them showed how it had affected them, like, truly. Like, none of them, like, expressed how it affected them truly. All right, going into the 6 years we were divorced, it's embarrassing to think about, like, where I was. I think it was uncomfortable for them.
Yeah, I believe it was.
I think it was very uncomfortable. Aaron met 2 of the women that I dated during that time. But yeah, it was uncomfortable thinking about it. But it was tough for them. I think it was tough. It was tough because for your parents to be together and then all of a sudden they're not together. And then, one woman I dated, she was so pressed on meeting my kids. Like, I was like, yo.
Yeah, that like really got to me because it was like he was asking like a love, like, when can we go do this? Like, she wants to meet them. And I'm like, you just really got into this relationship. How's she trying to see my kids and start talking with my kids? That was very uncomfortable. And then when he took the girl to the show, that was another
Aaron show?
Aaron show.
Why did that bother you?
Because, like, it was, I couldn't make it to the shows, like, and I really didn't want to go because he was there.
Listen, if you would like for us to come to your church, share our testimony, or come to your next event, do a workshop on our 7 steps to becoming one, we would love to. We would love to share how we went from teenage parents to married to divorced and then happily married to each other again. Sweetheart, tell them how they can get in contact with us.
Yes, reach out to us through email. It's admin@kellyandnatasha.com. That's ADMINKELLY and NATASHA.com.
Yep, and you can also go to the website.
Oh yeah, the website is kellyandnatasha.com.
Yep.
Simple.
We would love to help your congregation. We would love to help and be a blessing to your event. So just go now. Go check us out.
Yeah. But then he take this girl to my baby show and like my son meets her and all. That was.
You ain't like that?
No, I didn't like that.
Why? Just for the simple fact that I was taking another woman to meet our son at one of his concerts.
Yes.
You didn't like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did not like that.
I'm sorry, baby.
Okay.
Have I made up for it?
Yes, you have. Stop.
Hence,
Hence, guys, this is why Kelly talks so much, because he's been through so much. Like, I was the sheltered child, like, homebody, like, church girl. I never, like, had the experiences. This is why I call him and his sister hood rats, because when we first got married, they was washing clothes at 4 years old. So they was looking at me because my grandma took care of me. Like, I was the spoiled child. I didn't wash clothes. So this is why he talks so much, because he was going through from birth till now. Like, he's gone through so much. So this is why he talks so much, guys.
you called us hood rats back in the day. We're not hood rats now.
I'm sorry, did I say it like that?
Yeah, you said that's why.
They're not hood rats now. Hood rats now. I called them. I was so heated because they come to me like, well, let me explain. When we got married, my wedding gift from my mother was, well, our wedding gift from my mother was a new washer and dryer, because we had moved into this apartment. We had nothing. So we put the washer and dryer in. I didn't know how to use it. I didn't really know how to separate whites from darks and all that stuff. So the laundry piled up, and his sister was living with us at the time. And like they was washing clothes early. Like, I didn't know what to do. They didn't come to me and say, "Hey, you do this, you do that." They just like, "I can't believe you can't wash clothes." Da, 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 da. And I'm like, really? I can't help it that I didn't go to the laundromat at 4 years old washing my own clothes. So I called them hood rats, which they're not hood rats anymore, but I was just heated. So just to explain, they're not hood rats anymore.
The assumption that our traumatizing childhood was everybody's reality. I mean, we were mistaken. Like she said, from a young age. We were carrying, the carts with our clothes to the laundromat, me and my sister Candace. So we knew how to do everything. We knew how to cook. We knew how to wash clothes. We knew how to clean a bathroom. And back then, when we was learning this stuff, it was all gas. So we knew how to cook on a gas stove. We knew how to light the pilot if it went out. We knew how to cook toast at the very bottom. Like, I'm taking y'all back. We would make that little cinnamon and butter toast. Like, we knew how to pretty much take care of ourselves. And sometimes we would wake up, and it was up to us in elementary school. We decide whether or not we going to school or not that particular day. You know, we would wake up. We had to get our own self dressed. We take our own shower, brush our teeth. Eat our cereal, and sometimes we'll go back to sleep, and sometimes we'll go and go to school. And our mom, whenever she woke up, and she'd be like, "Why the H y'all didn't go to school?" Or "What's going?" You know, she would be mad, but it wasn't like, okay, you know, she was up to make us do it. So, but I'm grateful for that because it's made me a well-rounded person. And at the time when we first got married, I'm working 2 jobs. I would come home, I would do the grocery shopping, then I would cook, and then I would do the laundry, like she said, until like I start teaching her things. she just didn't know how to do it, you know. But whereas we learned, like our mom taught us how to wash so we could wash. She taught us how to cook so we could cook, you know.
But 4 years old.
It wasn't 4 years old. That's an That's an exaggeration. We'll just say young, elementary school. You know, it was young, elementary school. It wasn't no 4 years old. That's an exaggeration.
I praise God for my grandmother and
Yeah.
my grandfather. I wish I would have learned more because I feel like I would be a better person. And also my aunts. Like, we all grew up, my aunts was taking care of me. I'd go on trips with my aunts and granddaddy, like, I remember when we were married, his sister would babysit our Aaron.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, you want to eat what's on your plate. And I'm like, don't be making my son eat that, because my grandparents never made me, like, my granddaddy would take me to McDonald's if I did not like what my grandmother cooked. Like, that's how it was. So I'm like, don't be doing that to my son. And I wish, he would have ate more. But my grandma did feed stuff to my son, but he just changed after, I guess, because he was with me and I moved out. But my grandmother did press him to eat beans and all that stuff. But yeah.
That's funny.
I praise God for my family.
We had to eat whatever my mom cooked.
Right.
It wasn't I'm going to the restaurant. Even if you did have money sometimes to go buy your own restaurant food, you weren't coming in the house. She was mad if she cooked and we didn't eat. Like, as we got older, we didn't eat what she cooked. So yeah, I'm grateful for how, like I said, I grew up. It made me very well-rounded, but went from my mom's house a lot of times, my dad's house, back and forth to my granny's house, and all of the different things, all of the different experiences. And I was a mixture of all three of our children. So, Alexis's thought process in the relationship, Aaron's internal things, and kind of like love's creativity. I was a mixture of all of that. I was a loner as a kid. Like, I was by myself a lot, and I thought a lot. I dreamed a lot, and I'm gonna tell the story, and then we can move on, kind of wrap this one up. I think we've been going for a minute, but I remember, like, just growing up and not having. Does it make like growing up in poverty, not having, and I always dreamed of the day when I could buy whatever I wanted. Like, that was just a dream. Like, and when I say what I wanted, I just wanted some Jordans. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted some shoes. And I was coming back from football practice one day, and this neighborhood, older dude in the neighborhood, he worked at Foot Action or something like that, or Athlete's Foot. And he said, y'all see them new J's came out today? And we was like, nah. He was like, y'all want to see them? And he opened the box. It was like, the True Blue 3 Jordans came out. And it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And I said, one day I'll have the money and I'll be able to buy those shoes whenever I want it. Not even knowing that, retros and all that stuff. I just said one day I'll be able to buy anything I want. The day I dropped our son off in Nashville, I stopped at Pigeon Forge, the outlets. I stopped at the Nike store, and I had the money. I saw those True Blue 3s, and I bought them. That was like a gift to myself for the 18 years of sacrifice of raising my son. Because tell them, did I buy myself anything? From the moment we had Aaron till I dropped him off, did I buy myself anything? Did I buy shoes? Did I buy clothes? No. Was I responsible for the family?
Yes.
I didn't put myself first. I worked hard, and I took care of my family.
I learned how to stitch holes because he would have khaki pants. He would have like 4 pairs of khaki pants that he would rotate. Two. And I would have to literally sew up the holes because he was not buying anything. So
to go to work. Yeah, I work at Walmart during the day, and I work at Blockbuster at night. But I never bought anything. I took my little brother Chatwin's. I took his hand-me-down shoes. I took his hand-me-down clothes. Just so we can make it. So yeah, I think we answered the question.
We have.
We gave some inspiration as well. Final thoughts on divorce. There's somebody going through a divorce right now. They're thinking about divorce right now. What would be your final thoughts if they're thinking about divorce right now?
If you're thinking about divorce, stop and go through like the do's and the don'ts, or what's that, like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the pros and the cons.
Yeah, the pros and the cons. Like, go through that and see, like, is it worth it? Like, that's my thought. Go through the pros and cons. Is it worth doing this divorce? Do I get this out of this? Like, how do I feel about this? Like, go through it. Just stop and think and do the pros and cons. That's my final thoughts.
What was your pros and cons before we move forward? Like, what was your benefits of staying in the marriage if we didn't get a divorce versus when we got a divorce?
My family, just not being alone, the money, like all of them. I had so many of the pros, like, and then godly, like it was not
covenant. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to break that, so that was my.
Yeah. So if there is a man who's thinking about divorcing his wife and putting away his wife, like she said, consider the covenant you made before God and before her family, to honor this woman, to care for this woman, to death do you part, to love her and obey her. And in sickness and in health, like think about those vows,
Right.
And think about the loss of your favor. Think about the loss of your family. Think about, when you come to the altar to get married. Altar is a place where sacrifices is made. So you're coming to die of self in order to become one and live in holy matrimony. And there is something spiritual about that. It's going to come with spiritual attack. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast or where I said it, but when you get married, you're not getting a license to have sex. You're getting a license to go to war. Like, this is war. This is war against the enemy. So realize the attack. I would say some things to maybe open your eyes, maybe go on a fast, pray, seek God, and for clear answers. And like she said, write down the pluses and the minuses, and I'll promise you, we said this on our live last night, that 80-20 rule is very, very true. You can have 80% in your spouse and 20% that looks so good. But I promise you that 20% gonna cost you your life. That grass ain't greener on the other side. The grass is the greenest where you water it. You agree?
Yeah.
Do I water my grass, babe?
You water your grass, babe.
Tell the people, how do I treat you now? We don't talk about that. We talk about how much of a butthole I was. We're gonna close on this. Since the remarriage, the new me, the rebaptism, how do you feel about how I treat you?
I'm on cloud 9, if that explains. He sees my value, he sees my worth, he treats me unconditionally, like I have a need for nothing. It's like he reads my mind of what I need, like the gifts. He knows that that's my love language. Like, there's a gift, and it's just so much. It's a 360 degree that I say 180 because
180,
yeah. So like, he has changed tremendously, just on how he treats me, like how he looks at me. It's a difference. I feel it, and I praise God for it, because the first marriage was hell. Like, I see that now, but like, I wanted to stay in that and be with that because I didn't know anything else. But now, like, the way he has changed, like, it's amazing.
Yeah, and because I'll end with this, and because I changed and begin to water my garden, she takes care of me on another level too. So it's reciprocal, but you can't reap from a garden that you hadn't planted in, that you're not sowing into, that you're not watering, right? That you're not covering, that you're not cultivating. So ask yourself, am I asking my wife for something that I'm not planting in her, that I'm not watering in her in order to reap, you know? And last thing, the fruit never lies.
Amen.
You will know by the fruit that it's producing.
Yes.
And if it's a bad garden, pray about it. Because let's be honest, some marriages people should have never been in.
Right.
You should have never been in that. And only you and God knows that. So that's
Exactly
between
right.
you and God. So that's why we say pray. On that note, announcements. Any announcements?
Go ahead.
Can you think of any? What we got?
Just the
What we got
class
coming?
next week.
Yeah, the class this Saturday. March the 8th, 10 a.m. Rebuilding trust after infidelity in your relationship. We're going to give you step-by-step tools on how to do that from biblical principles. General admission is only $47. VIP is $97, but you get the recording, you get a digital workbook, and a bonus session. So get signed up now at kellyandnatasha.com. Do us a favor. Like, share, subscribe,
Yes.
comment. This may help somebody, and let somebody know about the class that we're teaching. You never know. If they're a married couple or they're a couple, send them the information about the class that we're teaching, because you never know what people are going through. Nobody knew what we were going through.
Nobody.
Yeah, it's a shocker. A lot of people didn't even know we were divorced.
Right.
That's what's crazy. So on that note, take us out here, baby.
Hey, if nobody's told you today that you are loved, you are loved. I love you. Tune in next week.
Peace.
Hey guys, just wanted to come to you thanking you for checking out the Finally One podcast.
Listen, this is what we need you to do. We need to grow our following. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Make sure you're sharing these episodes. You don't know what couple that they may help. So subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You don't know who you're going to help. And make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Yes, guys, share. Help us.
Yep, and you don't know who you're going to help. So it's not about us. It's about helping couples, right?
Share, yeah.
So share, like, subscribe. Help us get our following up.